So first off, I want to say thank you to our sponsors. Thank you so much to the Tacoma Latino Chamber. Thank you so much to Mark A. Hammer and Associates. Hopefully you got a chance to connect with them. And then also Taco Street for providing the food. Please give them a big hand of applause. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Appreciate your support. And then our community partners as well, right? We're our next partner here. If you don't know what that is, definitely look it up. It's a great program that Tacoma Arts Live that has here and is able to host our event here at the Tacoma Armory. And then if you didn't get a chance, make sure you get some pictures, some photos out there. You get a free digital copy. And then if you'd like to purchase some printed copies as well, you can do that. Centro, Mecha, and then Angel Eat Presents. They're another one of our sponsors. Next slide, please. All right, so this is who I am. Quick hand, who knows who I am? At least knows who I am. Yeah? Okay, all right. Who doesn't know who I am? Probably met me just for the first time today. All right, thanks for coming. Okay, this is good. All right, so a lot of things going on, right? So I'm always at work. I'm always plugging away. First and foremost, though, I am a family man. I have a beautiful family, super blessed. They're the reason why I do what I do, right? And then also, both my blood family and my inherited family, but my chosen family as well, right? So you have people in your life that, your road dogs, your ride or dies, people that you could depend on to be there for you, and you're there for them, right? So definitely family, and then also my community. Local filmmaker, no, that's not a typo. I like to say you got to be crazy to be in this business, right? So I'm definitely local, right? And even people joke around a little bit. They're like, oh, so are you local? I'm like, local in the cabeza? Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, local from right here for sure, right? And then community leader, social entrepreneur, marketing business consultant, board director with United Way of Peers. I'm also with the Washington Film Leadership Council. So if you need money for your project, we have about $15 million a year that we could go towards films, documentaries, episodic, and also corporate work. So there's some criteria there. You could go to our website, connect with me, or you could go to WashingtonFilmWorks.org as well. And then also a founding member of the Tacoma Latino Chamber. Now, it's okay if you're not a Latino. We still love you. Okay? You don't have to be a Latino to join the Latino Chamber, right? Because it's for all of us, right? So we're non-exclusive, all-inclusive. And I always say, because sometimes I mistake people. I think they're Latino, but they're not. And I'm like, that's okay. I apologize, first off. But I think all of us have a little bit of Latino in them, right? So you're a Latino, a Latino to us, and be part of our community, right? So over 20 years of experience, you can kind of read that, right? All kinds of different things that I've done, and just super passionate about what I do, right? And we'll talk a little bit about that as I kind of share my story. We started a little bit late, so I'll kind of give you a short version, but I love to share my story over coffee, right? Lunch, happy hour, right? So let's connect. You don't got my card, make sure you grab them. That's our table over there, right? And then kind of work with us. Because for us, let us help you tell your unique story, right? We don't tell your unique story, we help you tell your story, right? So make sure you connect with us, right? Our partner, Raj Mujavi, who you'll meet here in a little bit during our panel discussion, and then you'll see him perform, right? It's like, let us help you record your music, help you distribute it. So, full service multimedia marketing and advertising and production company specializing in films and a couple different things. So we're all about the community. We're about helping you out, giving you the tools, the resources, and in certain instances, the funding to tell your story, right? So corporate, we've worked with public sector, a lot of nonprofits, a lot of local community partners. And we're all about make this happen together, right? So 10 plus years working with a lot of different people here in our community. I personally live in in University Place over by Chambers Bay. But I say I claim Tacoma, right, to maintain my street cred. Nobody says they're from UP, right? But I'm like, hey, I'm here because I was born and raised in East LA, right? So I still maintain that, not the mindset, but I maintain that street cred. You know what I mean? So even though I'm all dressed up, some people love the shoes, I'm still, hustler, from day one, always. So I have an interesting story. So if you could go ahead and show the first, next slide, please. And then you can always go to Zeta-Maya.com, Zetamaya.com. So this is a book. So if you had the opportunity to sit down with me and kind of hear my story, This book I discovered in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, right? So I believe that everything happens for a reason, when it's supposed to happen, the way it's supposed to happen, right? So the people that are here are meant to be here, right? So that's part of, the building of community. So you made a choice to come here. Maybe you came for the free tacos, I don't know, maybe for other reasons, whatever it is, doesn't matter, but you're here. So hopefully you connected with somebody. Did somebody meet somebody here, found interesting, or probably work with, or partner? Awesome. So I highly encourage that, right? I'm a connector, I'm a positive connector. So I love connecting people and seeing those sparks fly, like, oh man, thanks Carlos, they were awesome, we're working together, etc. So that's what I'm all about. So I found this book, and my favorite quote or saying in the book is, work to learn, not to earn. It's okay to make money, and I always say, hey, demand to get paid and demand to pay, right? But I always say, don't do it for just the money. There's more important things in this life than just money, right? So do it to prepare yourself for your ultimate purpose. That's what this is about. And also, this will help you, because I'm a marketing and business consultant, right? So these are one of the tools that we use to help people understand how money really works, right? Cash flow, assets, liabilities, that's all important. But prepare yourself for your ultimate purpose and understand what is your purpose, because everybody has a reason for being on this earth and having the people that they have in their life, right? Next slide, please. This right here, this book, right? Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Super powerful statement, right? So whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right. So one of my favorite sayings is, if you really want something, you're either going to find a way or you're going to find an excuse. This book right here, I discovered when I was up here in Washington, right? And it changed my life. It talks about the law of abundance, the law of manifestation, the power of positive thinking. Super amazing book. Gives you the principles of success, and it helped me become successful as well. Next slide, please. This last book here, and these are books that have literally changed my life, and they have come at times of adversity. And probably about a year or two ago, I was talking to somebody and telling them my story, and I'm like, and I stopped for a moment. I'm like, you know what I just realized, bro? I realized that the biggest opportunities for growth and learning and just going to that next level happen during times of adversity, right? I grew up in East LA and South Central, crazy, but that made me who I am, right? It doesn't define who I am, but it helped me become who I am, right? The hustler that I am. And also about my gente, my Latina nation, right? And so, I was telling them, man, I just realized this, right? The pandemic, the Great Recession, all these crazy things that happened to me throughout my life, those were the times that were the best. The best of times, the worst of times, right? So always maintain that positive attitude, because if you really want something, right, you'll find a way or find an excuse. So the next one here is the Money Bible, right? And essentially, it talks about how to align yourself effortlessly with money and opportunity. So we no longer chase opportunity or money. According to the law of attraction, money opportunity will come to you, right? So don't be the salmon where you fight up the stream, right? The river, and die at the top. Go with the flow, baby, right? Enjoy the ride. Everything's gonna be all right, right? That's divine inspiration there. So definitely check out the Money Bible if you need some money. This thing I literally discovered during the pandemic, right? I was at home, no job, laid off, right? But I was blessed, and I was staying positive. I'm like, it's all good, right? Got a little stimulus check, everything else was paid for. And then I was sitting at home like a good boy, consuming content, right? Just on YouTube. And this thing kept popping up. I'm like, man, I guess the universe or God is trying to tell me something, right? So I clicked on it, and I listened to the audiobook. I kid you not, for over a week. I listened to this thing day and night. Just, even I would go to sleep, I'd play the video. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, I'd press play, just listen to it, and did exactly what he said. And I started getting showered with gifts, just opportunities. And like I said, either over a cocktail or something, if you don't drink, mocktail. But I would love to share that story with you, because I want to hear your story as well. So that's really important, right? I want to hear your story, I want you to hear my story. And that's essentially, kind of in a nutshell, the things that I've experienced throughout my life. And these are 3 tools that I've utilized to liberate my mind, right? To get away from that ghetto mentality and know that, it's not about the comeuppance, it's about the more you give, the more you shall receive. And you don't give in order to receive, you give because you've already been blessed. And all you're doing is sharing those blessings with others. And that's what has changed my life, right? There we go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Word. Next slide, please. So check that out when you get to check those out. If you need money, sometimes people are hitting me up for money and say, hey man, why don't you go ahead and read this book? I mean, I got no time to read this book. I'm like, all right, watch the video. But that book right there, incredible. All right. So here's a quick quote. Art is a means of union among men or people, joining them together in the same feelings and indispensable for the life and progress toward well-being of individuals and humanity. So art, right, and creative, and things that we use, right, as a creative outlet or whatever else, right, this helps us come together, right? Storytelling is a way for us to relate, help us find common ground, right, and stop saying the others, right, because we're all in this together, and that's part of the message that I have here today. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise an artist or a creative, right? So it's not like their children and our children. This is our children. This is our nation. This is our world. This is our universe. That's the way we have to see it. No longer divide and conquer, right? It's always about the others, right? Others, communists, whatever, right? Terrorists, blah, blah, blah. Fear-mongering, BS. I call BS on all of that. Let's come together. Let's share our stories so like that we can relate and understand each other. Next slide, please. This is an awesome thing here. So I'm a mentor. I've been mentoring several people for several years. I had an amazing mentor that taught me about TV, broadcast, and video production. 4-time Emmy Award winner, just super blessed to be able to, call him a mentor, and he really helped me out. So I use this for our clients, but also the people that I mentor. I've been mentoring several people for several years. And I share Ikigai. This literally translates as a reason for being, right? Or your purpose in life. A lot of people go through life aimlessly, right? Just like, I gotta go over here, I guess, right? Or just looking for the next job. Like, I don't know where I'm headed, right? But if you have that purpose, if you know what you're about, right? You have what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, right? Or monetize, and what you're good at. When those intersect, those 4 things, you have found your Ikigai. That's a Japanese concept, right? Reason for being or life purpose. Live life intentionally, right? Live the life and have the lifestyle that you want. Not what your friend says or your neighbor or your parents or whoever else. Live the life according to your own terms, right? And this will help you find that purpose and guidance, right? And you could just look that up when you get a chance. Next slide, please. Super powerful tool. All right. So one of the things that we're working on, right, is helping to build a sustainable, inclusive, diverse, equitable, and accessible creative economy and arts community here in Washington State, the Pacific Northwest. Because Zeta-Maya Entertainment will be one of the biggest entertainment companies here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. You can hear that, all right? Trust me, right? And we're gonna do this together. Right? We can't do it alone, right? So together. So we need education, funding, infrastructure, distribution. These are 4 pillars to be able to accomplish that, right? So we're an ed tech company, right? At our core. Sure, it says entertainment, but our core, we're an educational technology company. Utilizing, education, mentorship, apprenticeships, all of that, internships, and being able to help others, mentor others, right? And then funding, like I said, Washington Filmworks does provide some incentive programs, but maybe we can help you with some sponsors, maybe we can help you with some investors. There's a variety of ways that we help people to be able to bring their project to life, right? And then infrastructure, that's the biggest one right now, I think. When I talk to people in LA, New York, New Mexico, Atlanta, right, Georgia, they're like, the infrastructure isn't here. Right, so I belong to a couple of different groups, right? And I would say, hey man, say I came with $50 million to Washington State, and I was to give $1 million to 50 people. You think we could deliver? What do you think, yes or no? Do you think Washington State can deliver for the most part? Okay, I think so too, but I don't think we have 50 directors with feature-length experience, right? I don't think we have 50 directors of photography. Because it's kind of like the Mariners. When somebody gets good, they kind of have to go to LA or Atlanta or somewhere else, just because the work isn't here. Just to be straight up, right? A lot of the work that we do here in Washington State is corporate, commercial work, right? But that's going to change because we're going to create that pipeline, right? From our youth, and that's what this is about also, right? Having these panelists that are going to come up here in a minute, and a little bit later after the performance. But it's how do we create that pipeline, right? From young, ambitious, creative, yeah, and then being able to get them into the industry, right? And then connect them with industry professionals. That's what a lot of these programs are about, right? And then distribution. How do we get? I remember one of my mentors is an awesome executive producer, amazing indie producer, executive producer and producer. And he's like, hey, yeah, you can spend $500,000 on your film, but all it's really going to be, if you don't have distribution, you don't have marketing and advertising behind it, it's going to just be a very nice DVD sitting right there, a $500,000 DVD that nobody's ever going to see, right? So that's part of what we're working on, is how do we distribute your content? So there's a bunch of things that we're working on, right? Creating that funnel, and I'll get into it in a little bit later. But those are the 4 main things that we're going to need to build this industry, right, in creative economy in Washington State. Next slide, please. All right, so here it is. So upcoming events and projects. And hit it, please. Awesome. So check this out really quick. So that is our animated logo, right, that you'll see at the beginning of all our different projects. There's no sound, we're still recording. Actually, I was gonna have you guys kind of do some drums real quick and kind of, be a little more interactive, but that's cool that I missed the cue, so no big deal. But we're gonna have some awesome music, right, to that. And that's kind of the quality of work that we're gonna be delivering, right? Like, I showed this to somebody at some major studio down there, and like, man, dude, this is studio quality, right? So we're creating amazing quality, high quality content. All right, so if you can continue, please. Next slide. So a couple things that are coming up, right? Kind of hard to see there, but this is the document. There we go. Thank you. So this is the documentary we're working on. It'll be starring Raj Punjabi, right? Original drummer for Green Day. That'll be performing here in a little bit. He's also producing this particular documentary, so it's a narrative style documentary film that we're working on. And it'll tell his his personal journey, and then also his musical career. And then you're gonna, just incredible. So that's coming on 4/20/2026, all right, Green Day. Yeah, so that's what we're working on. Next slide, please. The next project, so this one right here, highly anticipated. I've been working on this sucker for about 6 years. So we finally have some funding in place. We have some amazing people that are working on this project, right? And this is just a little concept art that one of our interns created, right? So you can kind of see the taco truck. So the Taco Man is about a taco truck owner that gets his taco truck stolen by the mob, and he goes through hell to try to get it back as hilarity ensues. So it's a feature-length, it's a narrative feature film that we'll be shooting entirely here in Tacoma, right? We're not going to Seattle. We're not going to even say Seattle, no Space Needle, none of that. It is Tacoma's time to shine. So that's what this project is all about, right? Represent, baby. So you see that little taco truck, and then the baddies chasing them, right? So this is a super cool project. And that'll come out during Latino Heritage Month in September. So I'm writing, directing, and producing that, and then also working with Raj to do a couple things for that particular project. So that's coming, finally. All right, next slide, please. And this right here, anybody ever heard of the Seattle Film Summit, by any chance? Show of hands, a couple people? All right. So we used to, Ben, good friend of mine, we sponsored that event for many years, right? We're vendors, connecting with several people. But we are starting what is called the Creative Apex Northwest. That went away a couple years ago for a couple reasons. But this will be a premier networking, educational, creative, community building event here in the Pacific Northwest. So this is coming, probably right before Taco Man, I'm thinking, but this takes a lot of work. Even this little thing that we do here takes a lot of work, right? So we're hoping to do that coming up in September, and that'll be a way for us to come together, get funding. Anybody ever heard of Shark Tank? Yeah, Shark Tank? Yeah. So we're gonna do Dolphin Tank. right? So they're not going to be as crazy as sharks, but they'll be dolphins, right? So hopefully, fund your project, right? We'll have a panel of investors that want to hear your project, and maybe, if you close the deal, boom, you get the money for your project. So that's part of what we're going to do it, and a bunch of educational things. So this is actually our last lunch and learn that we'll have, but it'll be part of the Creative Apex Northwest. It'll be a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so lunch and learn, and then we'll show a screening of a feature film. On Friday night, the whole deal, the whole red carpet and all of that, and then Saturday and Sunday will be workshops, panel discussions, the shark or the dolphin tank and all of that. So look forward to this. Always go to our website, Zeta-Maya.com, and you'll have updates on that, or follow us on all the socials. Next slide, please. So a couple of really quick recommendations. The 7 habits of highly effective people. Start with the end in mind, right? Where do you want to end up in life? Right, because a lot of people are aimless, like, oh man, I don't know, I think I'm gonna go work here, I think I'm gonna do this, what, I think I'm gonna go over here. Aimless, right? Look at Ikigai, and then find ways to be highly effective. Doesn't say successful, that's another thing that I shared with you, right? But start with the end in mind. Where do I wanna end up? What does success look like to me? Because success can mean many different things depending on the person. One person's like, I just wanna make 6 figures. Nah, man, I gotta be a millionaire. Another person, nah, I gotta be a billionaire. That's success for them. So whatever success looks like to you, this will help you be more effective, more organized, and be able to manage your time. Super important. Next slide, please. The E-Myth Revisited. This is a great book that I recommend to a lot of our clients. This helps you with the entrepreneurial journey, right? And the myth, just because you know how to make a great movie, right, or an amazing pie, or whatever, right, your talent is, doesn't mean you know how to run a business. 2 completely different things, right? So either you figure it out, this is one way, and it'll show you the journey, right? Also, Rich Dad Poor Dad will tell you about that entrepreneur journey as well, and kind of the steps to liberate yourself. I don't know about you, but I want to get to retirement and not have to work if I don't want to, right? I want to be bored, if I want to travel around the world, create that passive income, right? So being able to make money without having to do anything. That's the goal, hopefully for you. I don't know if you want to work your whole life, but this will help you create a system for you to be able to have a successful business. Next one, please. Another resource here, Rise of the Film Entrepreneur by Alex Ferrari. Great book, right? Turn your filmmaking passion into a profitable career. He's a cool guy. I did a podcast with him. He did an Indie Film Hustle, if you heard of that. Great way to get some knowledge about the industry. Industry is changing though. What it was 20 years, definitely not today. What it was 5 years even maybe, right, before the pandemic. Next slide, please. So definitely check that out if you want to make money with your art. And okay, so what you all have been waiting for, are we ready here? Did he skip out again? Hopefully he didn't go have a smoke. Did he go have a smoke or what? Okay, awesome. All right, so what you all been waiting for. Remember last time? You went out and had a smoke, I'm like, what the heck? All right. He's a rock star. Oh, yeah. Okay, we have a quick video. So, about the system, right? I'll show the title here in a second, but John D. Rockefeller created a system that exists today. As a matter of fact, some of the billionaires of today have evolved it, enhanced it, and made it better. So, as you know, the system, for the most part, systemically racist, right? Also, a concentration of wealth at the top, right? You have the masses, which feeds the elite up at the top. So we are creating a system within the system, and I can share that with you as your marketing and business consultant. So definitely hit me up, because I can definitely help you with that. But I want you to get a little glimpse. Check out this video when you get a chance on YouTube, because it'll tell you exactly how the system works. Hit it, Maestro.
So how do you respond to a system you cannot escape? 3 options. 1, accept it. Understand that consolidation and monopoly are features of advanced capitalism, not bugs. Use the efficiencies they provide. Buy from Amazon. Use Google. Accept that wealth will concentrate. 2, resist it. Support antitrust enforcement. Buy from small businesses even when it costs more. Use alternatives even when they're inferior. Vote for politicians who promise to break up monopolies. Make the system less efficient in exchange for less consolidation. 3, understand it and position accordingly. If you cannot escape the system, benefit from it, buy stock in the companies that dominate. Exxon, Chevron, Amazon, Google, Pfizer, JP Morgan. If the system extracts wealth from everyone and concentrates it in these companies, own these companies. This is what Rockefeller did. He owned Standard Oil while everyone else bought its products. He extracted wealth from the system he built. You can do the same, not at his scale, but proportionally. Own the extractors instead of being extracted from. This isn't investment advice, this is pattern recognition. The Rockefeller system has concentrated wealth for 150 years. It will continue concentrating wealth because it's embedded in corporate law, tax code, and regulatory structures. Fighting it is noble but exhausting. Escaping it is impossible. Understanding it and positioning within it is pragmatic. John D. Rockefeller died in 1937 at age 97. He lived long enough to see Standard Oil broken up, reconsolidate, and spread its methods across every industry. He lived long enough to see his foundation reshape American medicine and education. He lived long enough to see his grandchildren positioned at the top of American finance and industry. He built a system that outlived him by a century and will outlive us all. The system is vertical integration, horizontal consolidation, corporate trusts, regulatory capture, and philanthropic influence. It started with Standard Oil. It spread to steel, railroads, sugar, tobacco, then to automobiles, electronics, pharmaceuticals, technology. Now it dominates every sector of the economy, and you cannot escape it. You can only understand it. Rockefeller said, competition is a sin. Most people hear that as greed, but Rockefeller meant it theologically. Competition is wasteful. It duplicates effort. It destroys capital. Consolidation is righteous. It creates efficiency. It serves consumers through lower prices. Monopoly isn't theft. It's the natural end state of efficient markets. This was Rockefeller's worldview, and he built a system to enforce it. 150 years later, we live in that system. Amazon eliminates retail competition. Google eliminates search competition. Meta eliminates social media competition. Exxon, Chevron, and BP control oil. Pfizer, Merck, and J&J control pharmaceuticals. JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Citi control banking. The consolidation Rockefeller started has reached its logical conclusion. The end state isn't thousands of competitors. It's 3 to 5 dominant players in every industry, all using Rockefeller's playbook. And the consolidation continues. Every year, fewer companies control more market share. Every year, barriers to entry get higher. Every year, the system gets harder to escape. This is the Rockefeller system, not Standard Oil, the method. And the method is eternal because it works. If this video showed you a system you'd never seen before, if you understand now that the corporate structures controlling your life were built by one man 150 years ago, subscribe to this channel. Because understanding the system is the first step. You cannot escape the Rockefeller system, but you can see it, and seeing it changes everything. John D. Rockefeller created a system you cannot escape. Vertical integration, horizontal consolidation, corporate trusts, regulatory capture, philanthropic influence. That system is the modern economy, and you live in it every single day. Welcome to Rockefeller's world. So, how do you respond to a system you cannot escape?
All right. So the choice is yours, right? That's the system that was created. And we can create our own community, our own system here locally, right? So that's part of what we're doing. And coming together, the partners, so it benefits all. All right, so this is my contact information there. And if anybody wants this presentation, email me, call me, text me, and I'll shoot it over to you so you can look at some of the videos just in case you weren't taking notes, right? But Zeta-Maya.com. Go there, connect with us. We would love to work with you, partner with you. We have some amazing partners already, but we can never have too many friends, okay? Next slide, please. All right, so now the time you've been waiting for, right? So now we have a performance here for you today. So you're gonna get a little sneak peek, a little taste of the music these gentlemen and and some other artists have created for you. Amazing, amazing music. I love this music. Hopefully you enjoy it. So without further ado, please a round of applause for United Souls. Come on out, baby.